video, I am delighted and blessed to introduce to you Wayne and Kathy Hicks of Liberty Dollar. Wayne, Kathy, would you just give us some background into Liberty Dollar and what exactly Liberty Dollar Financial Association is?
Okay. Well, a little history first. The Liberty Dollar was first created by Bernard von Noothouse back in 1998 after years of work and research. He started working on it in 1972 and just continued. He just couldn't stop until he figured out some way to give America back sound money. And sound money, of course, is money that has something of intrinsic value backing it, which the U.S. dollar does not. The U.S. dollar is backed by the full faith and credit of the United States government. And frankly, I have no faith in them and I won't give them any credit. So that doesn't do me a lot of good. The Liberty Dollar is backed by silver. And Bernard started the organization, as I say, back in 1998. And he began issuing his currency both in paper and in silver coins. And in 5 years, between 1998 and 2003, he got $5 million worth into circulation. And then he met me. And I had gotten involved in it back in 2001, just a little bit. And then I learned a little more about it, And by 2003, I had the whole town of Berryville, Arkansas taking it like it was cash. Almost every business in town was taking it. I was even spending it at Walmart, and so were many other people. Bernard came to visit me because he just couldn't believe that we had the whole town taking it. And in fact, when I first told him, he said, "You're lying." I said, "No, seriously, come look." So he came to town, he hung out for a couple of days, and I watched him laugh his head off as he ran around town spending his money and never once had to explain to anybody what it was. Not one time. Everybody knew what it was because they'd been taking it for a while. And he said, "Wayne, you've got to teach other people how to do this." So we started a school right there in Berryville, Arkansas. And people from all over the country would fly in and spend 3 or 4 days at my office learning how to put the money into circulation in their own communities. And it went very, very well. So well, in fact, that by 2006, we had gone from 5 million in circulation in 2003 to 85 million in circulation around the country. Over 250,000 people were participating, and it was really growing by leaps and bounds. And the government saw that and they went, "Oh no, we can't have this now. It's given us competition." So they started first a smear campaign. They put out announcements on the news that it was against the law to even have Liberty Dollars, which was not true. And they tried to tell people that if they used Liberty Dollars, they were committing crimes and could be arrested. Not true. But then that didn't work. So they finally just got down and dirty and raided several offices, including my own and Bernard's and many others, and hauled some people off to jail, and the rest they just threatened. Well, they got around to arresting Bernard about a year and a half later, more than that, in 2008. And they charged him with counterfeiting. But they didn't take him to court until 2011. And when they got into court, they could not convince the judge or the jury or anybody else that it was counterfeiting because it didn't look nothing like government money. And everybody knew government money didn't have no silver backing it. So they couldn't get away with that. So they finally convicted him under an old, obscure Civil War era law, 18 U.S.C. 486, that says, "It shall be a crime for anyone to make, utter, or pass any coin or bar of gold, silver, or any other metal." I like that "any other metal" part, "unless authorized by law, and to be used as current money." And current money is defined as whatever is a medium of exchange in the area. So that's what they finally got him on, the fact that he was using actual silver coins that were not authorized by law. Now, the problem with that, as far as the judge was concerned, was that Bernard had bad legal advice. A lawyer had told him that as long as he didn't call it a coin, he'd be okay. So he called it a round. Well, the government didn't care what you called it. It was still a piece of metal, and that law gave them authority over it. So he was convicted of using silver in commerce. They called it counterfeiting, even though it really wasn't. and he was convicted, and they made a big fuss about it, said he was a financial domestic terrorist. That's what they called him. Now, that was stupid. They made a big fuss over essentially nothing. And then when they finally got him to sentencing, the government wanted him to get 27 years in federal prison. Now, this is a man in his 70s at the time. That would have been a life sentence.
Right.
And the judge said, "You're off your bird. I'm not sending this man to prison." Instead, he gave him 3 years of probation and then ended the probation after 1 year because Bernard didn't cause any problems, of course.
Right.
So that was the extent of Bernard's case. The judge also ruled that all of the silver that they had confiscated, 16 tons of it, and that's a funny story all in itself, had to be returned to its rightful owners, which were the people who had the silver certificates and the digital currency in Bernard's system. The interesting part about that is that to this very day, Bernard is still redeeming a lot of those silver certificates all the way to today, because many of them have not expired. And we have the same phone number he had back then. Our toll-free number is the same number he used. So people call us, say, "Hey, I found this funny looking money in my grandpa's stuff. What do I do with it?" And we say, "Let us give you an email address to connect to Mr. Von Notehouse, who will see that you get your silver."
Wow.
And he does. So he's still honoring it to this very day.
Yeah.
Let's fast forward a few years. 2018, I reconnected with Bernard, found his number, gave him a call. He said, "Hey, Wayne, where are you nowadays?" I said, "I'm living in Florida." He said, "Oh, so am I." He said, "I'm getting ready to go on a trip around the country to see old friends, so I'm going to make my first stop at your house." And he did. He came by, and Kathy here watched me and Bernard, two old hippies, talking about the good old days of the Liberty Dollar. And she thought it was hilarious. Well, he went out on his trip around the country. He was gone for about a month. And on his way back, he called me. He said, "Hey, I'm on the way home. I'm going to make my last stop at your house too." I said, "Okay, great." Now, this happened to be on October 1st of 2018, which was the 20th anniversary of the first date of issue of the Liberty Dollar, that he came by our house. And he's sitting in our living room, and we're reminiscing like we'd done before. We'd gone out to dinner and had a good time. We're just sitting around the living room talking. And he says, "Gosh darn it, Wayne, I wish somebody would bring back the Liberty Dollar. I'm just too old." And this little blonde stuck her hand in the air and said, "I will. So she's the boss, and I get to do most of the work. And she hits me when I say that, because she actually works her tail end off. But that's the story of how we ended up where we are today. Now, we started out in 2019. We finally got it all started. And we have evolved now to where we are today, the Liberty Dollar Financial Association, which is a private membership association. Our members purchase silver from us that we hold for them in a warehouse in Pennsylvania that we're contracted with. That's where we get our silver. And it's part of a large block of silver up there. And then we have a mint that we work with. So for our members that want to actually get the silver and hold it in their possession, we have the beautiful silver rounds that we send out to them. And I wish I had one here to show you, but I don't have one handy. We offer a lot of services. Our members buy silver from us and have it in an account they can see on the website. They can see not only how much silver they own, but the cash value of it at that very moment, because we keep track of the spot price and how it changes throughout the day. So they know exactly how much it's worth at that moment. We offer a bill payment service so that we can literally cut a check and mail it to pay a debt for them, a mortgage payment, a utility bill payment, phone bill, whatever. We also have a program where we buy silver back from them when they need cash, and we can send it directly to their bank account through an ACH transaction, or we have, I hate to admit it, PayPal available for those people that want it. We can mail a check, whatever they want us to do. We buy the silver back at whatever the spot price is, the day and time they want to sell it back to us. Now, one of the things that we need to talk about is our premium. We do charge a $3 per ounce premium when you purchase silver, because that's how we pay our bills and keep the lights on. And we're in a position now where we have to expand because we're working on setting up our own credit union. We're growing significantly now, and that requires more customer service. So we have no choice but to hire some additional staff. We've got a couple of young people working with us now, and need more. Some of the ones we got now work only part-time. We may need more in the very near future, but there's a lot of work to keeping a company like this open. Right. And that premium is the only way we really can make enough to keep in operation.
Right.
And being in operation is important because the vast majority of our members use us instead of a bank now. They generally have a small bank account they keep handy close by, so that when they need cash, we can send it to that bank. But the vast majority of our members use us instead of a bank, and either make payment directly through our website with other members when they're buying or selling something, or they have us mail a check when they need to pay a supplier or whatever.
With that being said, we are not a bank. So
Right.
when you do fund your account, it's not like you're purchasing silver. Therefore, the $3 per ounce premium comes in.
So I think this is important for people. First is that, because this audience, it either has a private association, a private ministry, or they're thinking about going into that. So this is important that not only is that your structure, right? This is a private financial association, and that people really begin to do it's another unindoctrination of okay, not a bank, and it appears as if I'm spending more to purchase my silver, but it's not, because my dollar is not worth much. So help people like me who say, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to pay this fee, but it's not really a fee, to have my silver over here.
Well, go to your local coin shop, or even many of the ones online, and try to buy silver to stack up in your closet,
or even just to get it directly from the mint.
Right. You're going to pay a premium because there's a cost to making those coins. Okay. Every once in a while on one of the big coin dealer websites, you'll see, only $1 over spot or something like that. What that means is these are coins that are so old. They were made back when silver was under $20 an ounce, and they can make enough on them at that little bit over spot to cover the cost of the minting fees that they had to pay at the time. Because minting a coin takes time. It takes machinery. It takes equipment. It's a fairly big operation to mint coins. That operation has to make money too. So they charge the minting and manufacturing fee. Just getting the blanks alone can cost a couple of dollars a piece over the spot price. Nobody buys at spot price except the actual manufacturers, the people who turn out the blanks that the mints use, things like that. In order to stay in business, the mint has to charge whatever time, labor, etc., wear and tear on their equipment it costs them to make the coins. So that's our cost factor. So because we charge the $3 premium, and again, you may pay more than that at most coin dealers, because we charge that $3 premium, we also offer active members the opportunity to get 20 coins just ounce for ounce without having to pay the extra minting fee every month. Now, if you want more than 20 coins in 1 month, then we have to charge that minting fee because we have to order more to replace them.
Okay? We're not really in the business of selling silver.
Right. That's not the business we're in. We're in the business of helping people secure their spending power, and we are an alternative currency. And our alternative currency, of course, is Liberty Dollars, the paper silver certificates that we offer to our members to help get into circulation in their local community. And those silver certificates are not backed or not denominated in dollars. They're denominated in ounces and fractions of ounces, so that they and the merchant can negotiate what the value is based on the spot price. And everyone has a QR code on the back that takes you directly to a page on our website where you can see exactly what it's worth at that moment.
Right.
That's
Okay.
our main goal, is getting these warehouse receipts out in
Right.
circulation. So
That's
that
our
way,
purpose, is to
when
get,
they come out with whatever they're gonna roll out and push down our throats, at least
Mhm.
local mom and pop stores that
right.
are accepting Liberty dollars will be able to,
They'll be able to stay in
afloat.
business. Back in Berryville, when I had the Liberty Dollar in circulation there, I saw little businesses that were just about to go under suddenly start to thrive again and come back and hire new employees. And a lot of the people in town were actually taking part of their pay in Liberty dollars because they knew they could go out and spend it around town.
Right.
So they didn't mind. So it was a win-win for everybody, and it is for any community that gets involved in it today.
So
So-
this is important, I think, is like, why is it important for everybody that can to become a member of Liberty Dollar Financial Association?
Well, because your dollar, the green dollar that you've got now, is losing value every day. Okay, between inflation, between the problems going on around the world, the disrespect for the dollar in the global commerce community, it's losing value, and eventually it's going to be kind of like you hear the horror stories about the people in Europe and in South America who all of a sudden thousands of dollars couldn't buy enough food to make a meal for their family that evening.
Right.
That's coming to us.
Yeah.
If we keep going down the path we're on with all this inflation.
Right.
So the Liberty dollar, because it's based on an ounce of silver or a fraction of an ounce of silver, even for the paper, holds its value. Historically, silver tends to hold its value against most other commodities. To give you an example, the same portion of an ounce of silver that would buy you a gallon of gas in 1950 will still buy you a gallon of gas today. The same portion of an ounce of silver that would buy you a dozen eggs in 1900 will still buy a dozen eggs today. And the same portion of an ounce of silver that would buy you a loaf of bakery bread back in 1795 will still buy that bread today. Okay. Silver holds its value. Now, there have been some little fluctuations where the market's been manipulated. We may be in the midst of one of those right now, but in general, that formula still holds true. I can still buy a gallon of gas for about the same percentage of an ounce of silver that I would have back in the 1950s. So it still holds mostly true. That means that if you've got your money in silver and the prices are going up in dollars, they're not going up in ounces. Okay. So if we can get people to start thinking along these terms, see, originally that's what a dollar was. It was an ounce of silver.
Right.
And then they said, okay, it's so many grams of silver. All right. Well, that's fine. As long as you know a specific weight of silver that it represents, that's fine. That's a dollar. All right. Well, we've got our 1 ounce certificate that is worth whatever spot is today, $23, $24. Okay. We've got our 1/100th ounce certificate that is then worth 23 or 24 cents. All right. We can't get down lower than that, but
And there's a
that's
QR code
fine.
on the back of them that can tell you in real time what each is valued
What
at.
each one is worth, right? So if you've got a stack of these certificates in your wallet, your purse, you can go in and make a purchase. If a merchant has these certificates in his register, he can make change with them. Okay. And now you've got silver that's represented by that piece of paper in your hand. This is a bearer warehouse receipt. That means you who hold that bearer warehouse receipt have the right to claim that silver at any time.
So as a merchant, they could send
Right.
the warehouse receipts in and either get the cash value or the silver, whichever
Right.
they choose to
Right.
get.
As long as they're a member of the Liberty Dollar Financial Association, because we can only buy it back from our members. Anybody can have their warehouse receipt and get the silver
Right.
in exchange for it. But if they're a member and they credit those warehouse receipts into their account, then we can buy it back and give them the cash.
Yeah. And
Or
that,
cut a check to pay their suppliers.
right. I mean, and it just seems like so a good example, my nephew brought me a load of firewood yesterday. Okay. So with whatever is going to happen, central bank, digital currency, if which he would, I can pay him in Liberty Dollar, especially if
Right.
he's a member. We can just, I can just send it straight to his email.
Right.
Or if I had some rounds, then we pay him that way, which may be, or highly likely, what we're going to need to do.
Not around.
with whatever they've got coming down the road, because it looks like they're gonna be holding our paper money, or
Mhm.
they're gonna switch it over to their digital currency and hold it hostage.
Now, bear in mind, the rounds, there's still that law out there that makes it against the law to use that as money, the silver
Okay.
ones themselves.
Okay,
But the paper warehouse receipts, the judge in Berner's case ruled they're perfectly lawful. Warehouse receipts have been used as money for hundreds of years under common law. And our law is based on common law. So they're still perfectly legal, perfectly lawful. There's nothing wrong with warehouse receipts.
beautiful.
There are some states now that have declared gold and silver to be legal tender.
Yes,
The federal government does not always honor state law. The federal government says, oh, their law supersedes state law. So we recommend people not use the silver itself as money, just use the warehouse receipts. But then, of course, they can exchange those for silver. And we're working on opening up offices and associates around the country so that it'll be easier for people to make those exchanges in the near future.
yeah, good. Well, this is exciting and all very good reasons to become a member of Liberty Dollar. You have a new website, correct?
We do, yes.
Yes.
The old website was it was good for a long time, but then back what was it, last April, we had a glitch with our hosting company where they accidentally overwrote our server and wiped out everything on it. Fortunately, we had backups, but some of those backups were slightly corrupted. So while we had everybody's correct balance, we did lose a few of their past transactions, things of that nature. So we had to put some old code back up to get the website operating again in a hurry. And that code had problems. So we finally just said, we've got to rebuild the site. So we had it completely rebuilt. The new website, we're still in the process of putting some of the features back, but the new website is accurate. It does all of its math calculations properly. It's just a whole lot easier to use and a whole lot safer and better and much more secure from an internet standpoint.
And you do have a new referral link on
Yes.
there as well. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I went through that with you in April,
Yep.
and it was a little bit like, okay, hang on to our hats, and we're gonna trust. And, the new website is really good. It's much better. It's more. It's
Yeah,
user-
I'll be honest with you. When I got up that morning and saw that our website was gone, and I contacted the hosting and they told me what had happened, I just about had a heart attack.
I can't even
I thought,
imagine.
oh my goodness. But let me tell you how good God is. Okay. The day before, I had opened up a page on the website that lists all of our members and showed all of their balances, all of their contact information. And I had not closed out that page.
Thank goodness.
And that page is what made us able to make sure we had all of the correct balances and everything. But just the fact that I had not closed that page, and thank you, Lord, the power didn't go out and my computer didn't shut down. That page is what saved our tails that day.
Wow.
And I have thanked my Lord so many times for that page that just happened. No, I never left that page open. Never. But I did.
What you did.
That day I did. And that we've just been so thankful to God for that.
Yeah, that was a little nudge. It's like, here we go. It's time to upgrade.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Now's the time. Here you go. Here's your sign.
Exactly.
Well, we have two more exciting things to talk about. One is the possibility of a credit union, and that's important. What more members in Liberty Dollar is important for that, and would you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, we explored the possibility of starting our own bank, and that's just so frustrating. It would take years to do and cost more than we could imagine. So we started looking at a credit union, and a credit union is a lot easier to open, a lot less expensive to open, but there's a lot of work involved. We have to jump through a lot of hoops for the National Credit Union Association and meet a lot of criteria. One of those criteria is we have to have a minimum of 3,000 members because we're basing it on an association of philosophy rather than a geographical location.
Okay.
Or a corporate location or a corporate philosophy. So we're basing it on an association of philosophy. And so we have to have a minimum of 3,000 members. We have to have a couple of $1 million worth of cash sitting in a bank account for a safety reserve for the credit union. And then we have to have monthly meetings, and there's a few other little requirements, hoops we have to jump through, but they're minor. So we're building up our cash reserve. We're growing our membership. We're almost to 2,000 now, and we are working on well, we started our meetings a couple of months ago. We're having them every month on the 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern time on the 10th. And that means the next one is tomorrow night. Now that I'm thinking about that.
And you have to be a member to come.
Huh?
Yeah, and you have to be a member to come to the call, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we recommend it. We've had a few people send the link out to non-members, but this is actually for members only. So we ask people not to do that. But the link went out in an email blast yesterday. So anybody who's a member should see it. If not, we ask them to check their spam folders to see if it might have gone there, because that happens occasionally. We've got a lot to talk about on this one, and we'll get to that tomorrow night. But yes, we're working on getting the credit union set up, and this is all part of that effort.
And the credit union is an important piece, because that allows us to buy and sell with ease, correct?
Well, it'll be a lot quicker, especially when we're buying silver back, because we'll be able to credit the money directly to your account. We almost certainly can integrate it right into our website. So you can say, I want to sell $500 worth of silver, click, and boom, there's $500 in your account and on your debit card right then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the main reason for doing this. It'll also make it easier for people who have a business to deposit checks, things like that. They can do the camera phone deposit and credit it to their credit union account, and then they can transfer it into their silver account if they choose to.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because that's been one of the things. It's like,
right now we can't take third-party checks. So if the check is made out to your business, you still have to have a local bank account to deposit that, and then do an e-check or whatever to purchase silver from us.
Right. Yeah. And Zell's made that a lot easier.
It has, yes.
Still would be nice to have that
yes,
more in-house or partnered, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's exciting.
Yep.
Well, okay, last but not least, everybody, they have something so exciting coming up.
We do.
There is a conference.
Yep.
Isn't there?
Yes, there is.
All right, Celebrate Liberty.
Celebrate Liberty 25. It's the 25th anniversary celebration of the Liberty Dollar. The Liberty Dollar, as I said, Bernard created in 1998, 25 years ago. October 1st is the 25th birthday of the Liberty Dollar. Just like October 1st of 2018 was the 20th anniversary, this is the 25th coming up. And the 25th, of course, is the silver anniversary. And since we are all about silver, we could not let this go by without doing something special. We couldn't do it. So we are holding a major exposition at the Greenville, South Carolina Convention Center, September 29th through October 1st. We have a lineup of speakers who will be talking to you about things like living in the private sphere, how to use the law to protect yourself from the government, how to use the law to protect yourself from the law, believe it or not, how to defend yourselves and your family, how to protect yourself and your business. These are all incredibly important topics.
Yes.
And if you want to live in the private sphere today, if you want to throw off the yoke that government enslavement has put on all of us, this is the event you need to come to. This is it. I mean, there's not a better way, a better group of people to educate you on how to step into the private sphere and stay there. That's what we're all about.
Yeah.
With sound money, with being able to use the law to our advantage. That's what we're all about, is living in the private sphere.
Our keynote speaker
Our keynote speaker is Kevin Sorbo. Kevin is, of course, the star of Hercules, the legendary Journeys back in the 90s. That was the most watched television show in history at that time. Did y'all know that? And nobody had ever beat that record. Today, he has left Hollywood and makes Christian faith-based movies, family-friendly movies and documentaries that are all about glorifying God. And he struggles to do it, but he gets it done. And somehow God always provides the means. And that's such a terrific testimony that he brings to the table.
He played in God's Not Dead, and
Yes.
he just helped to write and produce, and he and his wife played in this latest Left Behind movie.
Yep. The Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist. He starred in that, directed it, produced it. He's going to be playing the trailer for a new movie at our event.
The trailer.
A preview of the movie at our event. It's called Miracle in East Texas. It's based on a true story, and it's him and Lou Gossett Jr. in that movie. So that's going to be an incredible pair of old dinosaurs to butt heads there. And he'll probably hurt me for calling him an old dinosaur, but that's okay.
No.
I hurt you for him.
I like Kevin. But it's just going to be a blast. We've got a lot of other speakers. Bernard von Noothouse will be there. Of course, Kathy and I. We have Cal Washington.
Cal Washington. Oh, that's exciting.
Cal Washington's going to be there. G. Edward Griffin. Go ahead.
I was gonna say he'll be via video because
he's not able to travel right now. We've got Jerry Day, Rick Martin from the Constitutional Law Group,
Sean Terrio from Mark 3:7.
Yes, Sean Terrio.
Yes.
This is an interesting young man. He was a Silicon Valley entrepreneur, CEO, making the big bucks. And he said, you know what? There's something wrong with this world. And he walked away from it to start a couple of new companies. He offers the Ghost phone, that is a completely de-Googled Pixel phone that allows you to communicate without being tracked.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You use that phone, you don't see all those ads pop up for the thing you were talking about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I get a blast. I have a blast with that. We have let's see who else we got. Philip Topino from Where Our Families Train. He teaches self-defense and how to protect your family. In fact, Kevin Sorbo and his family go there and train every year. We've got Lisa Phillips and Sarah Kanafi. They have just put out a new movie called Birthright, which is about just what a birth certificate really means.
Ooh,
and it's a very informative movie. They're going to be speaking about that. We've got who else have we got?
Michael Betrano
and Shiloh Boss. They were the organizers of the Liberties Horizon event in San Diego. An incredible amount of knowledge there. Christopher Light from the United Independence Movement. Christopher is making great inroads with the independent voters in getting them to work together to help us to take our country back. It's a terrific effort. Ron Gibson is the expert on land patents and how to take absolute control back over the land you own.
Yeah.
And many more.
Yeah.
And many more. Yes. And many more.
This is to me, because you watch things like the Awaken tour, and then Carlene and I went to Truth and Liberty Conference last year. Didn't go this year for whatever, because we were meant to come to this. And those are, I think they're all beautiful, but to me, this conference seems like the real down home, the grassroots of the grassroots.
Yep.
In the movement. Love what everybody else out there's doing there with all the glitz and the I would say more resources, I guess. Fantastic. We have a movement going.
We do.
This feels like it's a real unifying conference, bringing lots of people together, especially in the private association world, and how we can continue to link arms and build. It's not even, to me, a parallel economy. It's the new world.
Yeah.
It's God's law. It's God's world.
one of this is the part where I get to put on my radio voice for a second and say, but wait, there's more. All right. Not only do we have a terrific line of speakers, we've got entertainment. We're going to have musical entertainment every evening. Okay. We've got Blake Reynolds, who is a dynamic Christian performer from the Greenville area. Terrific guy. You're going to love him. We've got Blind Joe. And maybe some of your viewers have heard of Blind Joe because he did this song called I Will Not Comply. And you might want to look up the YouTube link and put it in the description.
Ooh,
it's a terrific song, and it's actually starting to take off again now because they are talking about bringing back mask mandates. In fact, some companies already have.
Yeah.
And we're not going to comply. We're not going to comply.
Yeah.
And I love this song. It's
The theme song of the event.
Yeah, I will not comply. Exactly. You know, and even Donald Trump has gotten on the bandwagon. He made the comment a few days ago, we've got to tell the government we will not comply.
That's all.
And I happen to know that somebody from his campaign actually got hold of Blind Joe and said, hey, can we use your song? He says, yeah, you can use the instrumental version, the acoustic version. So hopefully we're going to hear that song being played a lot in the near future. But just the philosophy of the song is the one that we need to get out there. I will not comply. I will not comply with idiotic rules. I will not comply with unconstitutional laws. I will not comply with your attempt to put a yoke around my neck and turn me into a slave. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
And if enough of us will say that and say, I've had enough, I'm done, it'll stop.
It'll stop. Yeah.
It'll stop. You know,
we are so close to out of time. I will put all the links, especially to, well, just all the links, not especially. So we've got Liberty Dollar Financial Association, the link, of course, to the conference, Blind Joe's video, and in the description. And this is important. Everybody get to the conference, become a member of Liberty Dollar.
CelebrateLiberty25.com. That's the website. Yep. You get your link up there.
Yep. And we'll make sure that you get there, and then we can all meet. And I heard that South Carolina in the autumn is so beautiful. So
it really is.
Super excited. Thank you so much for your time. I think this is really going to be very beneficial for our viewers and people thinking about private associations, or also already playing in that domain. So we'll see you in a few weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Bless you. Thank you so much.
You too.
Thank you. God bless.
We'll see you in the next video.